all. I hope everyone's doing well. I just wanted to do kind of a check-in regarding mindfulness. I get a lot of channel messages and a lot of information, and it mostly comes at night. You know, it's when we get quiet and, you know, you have your chill time. So, and I've worked with a couple of clients, and they struggle with mindfulness because they feel like, you know, it's a full-time job trying to be mindful of your thoughts and be mindful of your feelings and how you express yourself and how you share and all that kind of stuff. So mindfulness is really about self-control and self-awareness, and it's a lifestyle. So we talked about negativity. When you see, if you're in a bad mood, then we're more negative, right? So I'm in a pissy mood, and now that person's shoes are ugly, and that person doesn't know how to drive, and and all of these things that we find faulted in other people because we're pissed off, right? Or something shitty happens, and we have to share that. We have to call somebody and say, "Oh my God, this, you know, son of a bitch," blah, blah, blah. Because that's what we are programmed to do, you know, to share the negativity and share the crap, and rather than, you know what, is this even worth me sharing? Do I need to even speak on this? Do I need to share this? Like, how is this serving me? Is this a good thing? Is this having me in my feel goods, or is it having me in my you know, not so feel goods? So being mindful is, you know, before you go to share something, stop and ask yourself those questions. Is this of benefit to myself or to anybody else that I'm going to share this with? Or am I going to pull them into the ick with me? Am I going to pull them into that, you know, that shit pile with me? So that's how we learn to share the good things. That's how we learn to share the feel good that we can get, you know, by really simple things like, oh, I saw 3 blue jays today within 5 minutes, or I saw, you know, this really cool sunset. I don't know, whatever. Whatever gives you that feel good, whatever, and, you know, keep it simple. So whatever gives you that feeling of, oh wow, that was cool, or oh that was nice, it made me smile. So those are the things we need to share, because remember, mindfulness is a lot about ripple effects, and you want to share the shit, then that ripple effect is, you know, shitty. So you want to share the good, that ripple effect is good. So it's going to feel better to share the good things, and then you're going to be training yourself, so to speak, to talk about the good things and talk about the things that help other people to feel good too. Because it's like, oh my gosh, this is, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. So mindfulness is a daily practice, and it's not something that is really simple for us to teach ourselves. It's something we have to work on every day, but it becomes a habit like anything else. So, you know, call each other out on when people are talking shit, or when people are being negative and stuff. Call each other out. My friends call me out if I'm being negative, and I call them out. So it helps us to learn. It helps us to be present. It helps us to have that presence, you know, that presence of self, that presence of, is this really necessary? It's like, oh, okay, that was kind of mean. Or, oh, okay, that was just unnecessary. Or, okay, oh, I was in a pretty bad mood today, so, you know, I got a little hostile, or I got a little negative, you know, that negative Nelly just jumped out and was a bit of an asshole today. So it helps you to stop that ripple, you know, when something happens that triggers you, or pisses you off, or has you in that negative mindset where you're being judgmental of another person, or you're being judgmental of yourself even. It helps you to correct that behavior. It helps you to unlearn certain things. And we have control over that. We have power over that. And that's where we need to remember where we have our power and where we have our control. To say that, you know what, hold on. Was that necessary? Right? Was that conducive to my healing? Was that conducive to my growth and me learning to share positive things and be more present with myself and really focus on my mindfulness? So really taking that time to have those moments of clarity, to say, hold on, let me just reel that in. And don't get me wrong, we're human beings. We live through our emotions, we live through our feelings. And some things we want to share because they either hurt us or whatever. But when we repetitively talk about things, especially when it's the same things, like, oh my God, yeah, a year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and we're repetitively speaking about the same situation or hurt or anger or whatever, we're keeping that present in our vibration. And we're not allowing it to clear. We're not allowing it to move on. We're not allowing ourselves to heal from it and to let it go. So being mindful and practicing mindfulness every day will allow us to be able to do that, will allow us to be able to release that programmed negativity, right? Because now we're teaching ourselves to stop it before that momentum starts. And that's a big deal. And that helps with our healing. That helps with our presence and being present in this moment, because we're not dragging things with us from, last week, last month, a year ago, whatever. And it helps us to create a healthier space for us. And that eventually we get to a point where we don't want to have a negative reaction to things because it just doesn't come naturally to us anymore and it feels gross. Like, I'm at the point where if I'm talking shit about something, it doesn't feel good. And my higher self is like, really? That's what you're gonna do, really? Or that's what you're gonna say, really? And it doesn't feel good, and it's almost like I'm choking on my own words because it does not feel good to talk shit about anybody else or to be disrespectful about anything else or be judgmental. And I have to reel myself in. And I have, my circle of trust, which are those couple of people that I rely on and I trust, and they're my people, they're my soul family that say, hey, and they'll call me out on my shit, and I'll do the same thing for them, because sometimes we're just not aware. Negativity can be very habitual. So we're just not aware that we're being negative about something. We're just not aware that we're being judgmental about something, and that it's unnecessary. So, a lot, like, have those people around you that will call you out on your shit, to be like, hey, like, come on, because it does help us to be mindful, because sometimes we just are not aware of it, and we're like, oh yeah, that was kind of an asshole-y thing for me to say. And reel it in. Remember, the more we work on ourselves, the more we are self-aware, the more we have mindfulness and create a space of positivity and healing energy within ourselves, the more we vibrate that on a daily basis. And remember, we are magnets. So what we feel, we attract. So if you are able to really, have that mindfulness as much as possible and be self-aware and allow yourself to vibrate in that higher vibration of a higher perspective, where we're not being judgmental, we're not being critical of ourselves or each other, because we're also very critical of ourselves, and that's also an unhealthy habit. So that's also something, like, there's people in my life, when I hear them say something about themselves, like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot, I'm like, hey, stop it. It's unnecessary for you to be so critical of yourself. So mindfulness really helps you to adapt to that higher perspective and that higher vibrational energy that is within you and that surrounds you. So just be patient with yourself and really work on yourself, really work on that presence and that mindfulness on a daily basis, and call yourself out on your own shit. Call your people out on their shit. And in a nice way, obviously, but help them to be more self-aware. And I like, my people help me to be more self-aware. And it will become habitual for you to be more positive and share the positivity and share the good things, even when it's something simple. So this was like a deep channeled message as far as the mindfulness and the thought processes that we have, to say, this is not a time of negativity and 3D of, hate and anger and being volatile and all that kind of stuff. This is a time for us to be present of that energy of higher vibration, non-judgmental, and just being kinder, being more compassionate about yourself and about others. So I hope this helps, and I hope everybody has a great night. hopefully I'll sleep tonight because these messages like to come in at bedtime. So take care. Bye.